Among the many tragic stories surrounding the Titanic, there's one hero whose selflessness and bravery have largely gone unnoticed. Charles Lightoller, the ship's second officer, is often overlooked in favor of more prominent figures. But his actions on that fateful night were nothing short of heroic. The night of April 14, 1912, was a scene of utter chaos and despair. The Titanic was sinking fast, and panic had set in among the passengers and crew. The ship's grand staircases, once a symbol of elegance and luxury, were now a desperate bid for survival as people rushed to reach the deck. The sound of shattering glass, crumbling walls, and the cries of the terrified filled the air. It was a night that would haunt the survivors for the rest of their lives. As the freezing waters of the North Atlantic rushed in, the ship's crew fought against time to save as many lives as possible. But with lifeboats scarce and the passengers in a state of panic, it seemed like a hopeless task. The crew's morale was sinking fast, and it was then that heroes like Charles Lightoller stepped forward. In the midst of all this chaos, Charles Lightoller's leadership and quick thinking saved countless lives. He took charge of loading the lifeboats, making sure they were launched with as many passengers as possible. His bravery and selflessness inspired others to follow his lead, and soon, a sense of order was restored to the deck. Lightoller's actions were not limited to just loading the lifeboats. He also helped passengers climb aboard, often at great personal risk. He persuaded women and children to get in first, often forcing them to take the last available spots. His compassion and kindness in the face of disaster inspired others to do the same, and soon, the deck was filled with people working together. As the night wore on, the situation only grew more desperate. The ship was listing heavily, and the stern was slowly rising into the air. It was then that Lightoller made a decision that would change the course of history. He ordered the crew to launch the last lifeboat, despite knowing it would leave him and several others behind. This heroic act would ultimately seal his own fate, but it also saved the lives of countless others. In the dramatic final moments of the Titanic's sinking, Charles Lightoller's courage and sacrifice reached new heights. As the ship went down, he clung to a piece of debris, fighting against the freezing waters to stay alive. His bravery in those final moments has become the stuff of legend, and his heroism has inspired generations to come. Charles Lightoller's actions that night have left a lasting legacy, one that continues to inspire and fascinate us to this day. His bravery, selflessness, and compassion in the face of disaster remind us that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope.